Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to change things up a little bit and bring to you my no makeup look, my minimal everyday look, my go-to look. I have my go-to glam and I have my go-to everyday wearable look. But yeah, this look is super easy, very achievable. If you're a beginner, it's perfect for you to try out. It doesn't require a lot of product. You could and you can like customize it to however you want, but I hope that you guys enjoy. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So I'm gonna get started with moisturizer, which I've already applied, and then what I've been doing lately, I've been trying out the Stobe Cream from MAC. I like to put that underneath because I feel like it gives my skin a nice glow. It's just like a little pea-sized amount and just rub it into your skin. Today I'm using the Prep and Prime by MAC, which also helps to control oil from what I've been told, so I'm a big fan of that. Now this next step that's coming up is completely optional. You don't have to do it by any means necessary. You can totally just put on some concealer. But on the days that I'm feeling a little like if I have more redness on one side than the other, I tend to switch off between these two foundations. We have the Makeup Forever Water Blend, which is really nice, as well as the Next to Nothing by MAC. I'm gonna try a little bit of this. And when I mean a little, it's like the tiniest amount. So I'm just mixing that up. You can grab any kind of brush. I'll use a kabuki brush. You can even use the Beauty Blender. For this one in particular, I find that if you do use the Beauty Blender, it soaks up a lot of product, so that might not be the best option for you. But I just like to do 2 light pumps. And then most of the time I have discoloration on my cheeks and on my chin, so that's where I focus it mostly on, and then whatever is left over on my forehead. And this is such a nice product. It's like it reminds me a lot of a BB cream, and it just gives you a nice luminosity as well, because ultimately we want our skin to look like skin, which is the whole premise of a no makeup. Then I like to apply concealer under my eyes just to brighten them up a little bit. The concealer of my choice is the BareMinerals Bareskin. You guys know I've been really enjoying this quite a bit. I could probably use a darker shade for this, but I'm just going to use the one that I have, which is medium golden. So I'm just applying that under my eyes and wherever I feel like I have some redness on my chin, and so on. And it blends so well. I feel like I have like some dark spots here, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. And then a little bit on my forehead just to create more of a even canvas. And then using just a concealer brush, or like this one's the complexion brush from Sephora collection. I really enjoy this one, and I'm patting it into the skin. Again, you can use the Beauty Blender if you want more coverage, or you know, you have more redness or just uneven skin. The brush is your best bet, just because it'll still give you coverage without compromising it. I feel like if you use the Beauty Blender, it just eats up too much product, and then you end up adding more and more layers, and it's not like super quick even though you want it to. But if you have like pretty good skin, you don't really need it. Something that I completely forgot, which again is optional. You can use a color corrector if you feel like you have really bad dark circles. I may use just a tiny bit. This one's from Makeup Forever, and I'm just putting it in the inner corner. Let's see. Yep. Just to brighten that up a little bit. And blend that out. This part always freaks me out because I feel like I'm poking my eye, but it's okay. We get to still work with it anyway. I also like to go over my lids. You can use your favorite eyeshadow primer to do that. Like I love MAC Lay and Low, and I tend to use that a lot. But this concealer is also really nice just to brighten you up. If you do have oily skin, make sure you set it in place, otherwise it will go all over. So just be mindful of that. And already, like, our skin is glowing. Right now, I don't know if it's just me or it's the camera, but of course it's a little light, which is normal because, you know, right now it's evened us out. We're not typically this one-dimensional. You guys know I'm gonna use some bronzer because I love looking like a little bronzed potato. Now, something that I also like to do is grab my favorite setting powder, which of course we all know is the TooFaced Peach Perfect. Yes, Peach Perfect. I got the name right. I never do. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit. I did have some on the lid already from yesterday. I know I'm not that great, but whatever. And I'm just dusting it on the under eye, like so. Okay, a little bit on the lids. My chin and my nose. Pretty much wherever I tend to get a little bit more oily, that's where I'm using it because it's more mattifying. Just a light layer. Then with a separate brush, I either like to go in with my Sephora Micro Smooth powder or the Next to Nothing powder from MAC, which I think I'm going to try this out for you guys. I don't think I've ever shown it in a video because most of the time it's like very glam or full coverage, but today we're going for light. And this is just to set everything in place and blend it down. Perfect. So your skin should look something like this. Again, doesn't look super heavy, which is great, especially for an everyday look. And of course, because we look one-dimensional, I am gonna add a little bronzer. For everyday looks, I really have been enjoying this butter bronzer. For days like this, I've really been enjoying the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. So I'm just gonna apply my bronzer the way I normally do, just to add a little bit of color, like so. And then I'm gonna warm it up with a different bronzer as well. Good. So the other bronzer that I love, you guys already know, Give Me Sun from MAC. Such a good bronzer. It's nice and warm, especially when it's so cold out. So I'm just warming up my cheeks with that. This probably looks like a lot to you guys, but again, you can customize it to your own preference. You don't have to do anything exactly like I did. And then some blush. So for blush, I'm using this one from Milani, Bellisimo Bronze. And I like this one because it has a little bit of a sheen to it. So when I apply it, it just gives me that like peached or pinched cheek look that works really well with my complexion. Once I have this all in place, I like to set my face. I'm using the Glow Mist from Pixi. I'm just gonna push my hair back and spray it all over. I like to apply a lot. Like, I look like I'm soaking right now because I am. But part of the reason why I do that is because it melts everything into place. So it makes it look more like your skin and less powdery, because I noticed that we were starting to look a little powdery. We don't want that. And this will give us a nice luminosity, as you can see. So it will set in place, don't worry. It won't look so greasy. Okay, so once you've fanned out the facial spray, then you can go ahead and apply your favorite highlighter. I wanted to use something that was drugstore, so I'm using this one from Maybelline, which is the Chrome, and I always like a little glow, so I'm applying that to the highest points of my cheeks, like so. I'm looking a little greasy, that's okay. Once it dries, I'll apply a thin layer of my favorite peach powder that you guys know I love to use. So I'll let that set in place. In the meantime, I'm gonna move on to my brows. So for brows, whenever I'm doing minimal makeup, I like to use the brow powder from Anastasia in the shade Soft Brown. I try to use the lighter shade first. Just grab that. And the reason why I like to use it is because it doesn't look so harsh and I have more control. So I'm just filling them in like I normally do, giving them a little bit more shape because my brows do tend to be a little more on the uneven side. So I'm just gonna speed through this. And again, I continue to use just the light shade. You can totally go in with a darker shade too if you want, and just add a little something. So the setting powder that I'm using is the Peach Blur from TooFaced, and I'm just gonna use that to set everything in place. Get rid of that extra shine that the setting spray gave us. It's not really a setting spray actually, it's more like just a facial mist. But I may have gone a little overboard because I use it, but you know, I think I might have just gone too happy. There we go. For the eyes, very simple. Grab your favorite brown shadow, very neutral. I'm using this one from the Selena collection with MAC called No Me Queda Más. I'm grabbing a nice big fluffy brush like this. This one is from BH Cosmetics. I don't know if they sell it yet, but when I first started getting into makeup, this was all I used. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this and put it in my crease. As you can see, the lid is getting just a little oily, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a little more translucent powder. Pat that in place, like so. And then with the brown shade, just work that into your crease. You don't need it to be neat. You just want it to give a nice light wash of color so that it looks more dimensional. Like you can see already it made a big difference, or at least I think it made a big difference. So place that back and forth. What I love about using a fluffy brush and such a large blending brush is that you literally can do this in a couple of seconds. See? Very simple. Once you have that on your eyeshadow, you can also put a little bit on the bottom, but I didn't want to. So I'm gonna go back with the highlighter, if I can open it up. There we go. I'm gonna use my pinky. Using my pinky, I'm gonna place that on my lid just to give a little bit of a sheen. And blend that out. Perfect. So that's simple for the eyes. Whatever is left over on my pinky, I'm just gonna place in my inner corner just to kind of give me that awake look, you know. And now for lashes, I have two different things that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use the tinted primer from Maybelline. It's the Colossal Big Shot, and then the Buxom mascara. I think it's just the original one. So I'm going to apply the tinted primer first, and when you're applying the tinted primer, you want to like sweep it up. I don't know if that makes sense, or roll it up, because then you can really evenly coat your lashes. And you can already tell a difference, or at least I hope you can tell a difference. Like it's like no lashes, lashes. And same thing. I like to look down because when I don't have any liner, I find that if I'm applying mascara, it gets on the actual lid. Like, I definitely just got a little bit of it, but it's okay. Followed by my mascara. Where did I put it? It's right in front of me. I love this one because it has such a like chunky wand. So good. Now these are nice and fluffy. So good. And then if you do want a little bit more definition in your eyes, you can use a smaller blending brush like so. Using the same color, you don't need anything else, of brown. Just work that into the outer part just to round them out a little bit. Okay, I do want to move on to lips. For lipstick, I'm just going to use this lip pencil in Rikugien? I don't know, but it's from NARS. I'm just going to apply a thin layer. It's like a rosy pink. It's very wearable. It's a little bit pinker than my natural lip, so I like that. Still wearable. And to finish it all off, I'm just going to apply some Fenty gloss right in the middle. And there you go. Very simple, very wearable, just looks a little bit more put together. Now, depending on how you are, you can either add a little bit more blush, you can leave it as is. Do what you want, girl. Like, this is super simple. You can also add a little bit of like brow bone highlight if you wanted to. You could use like a bold lip if you're feeling that. Whatever you feel more comfortable in, you wear it, because it'll look amazing and it's super simple. Like I said, you can still see my skin, like the imperfections are still there, but it doesn't look super heavy, which I love. If you have questions about some of the products that I used today, just let me know in the comment section below. You guys know I will definitely reply to those. And thank you so much for spending some time with me. As always, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because then you can keep up with my beauty channel and all the good stuff. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next time. I hope you enjoyed.